Hello everybody, welcome back to Let's Play Hearts of Iron 4 Kaiserreich United States. Let us continue on from where we last left off. So, I posted when the series started on my channel poll, asking people whether or not they wanted to return to democracy after MacArthur won, or if we're going to keep MacArthur kind of in his position of power. So I thought, maybe there'd be there's a lot of debate about it. I thought maybe one side was more popular than the other. But when I posted the poll, after 1,000 votes, we ended up at a perfect 50-50. And when I mean perfect 50-50, I legitimately mean, I cannot tell if any of those bars are further than the other. If you can, then you have better eyesight than I do. But to me, these are almost identical. So, knowing that, I have set up a little wheel here. If this will actually load in. There we go. We're going to vote. Well, not vote. We're basically going to flip a coin, seeing, are we going to keep MacArthur, or are we going to return to democracy? Let's spin the wheel. It might be a little bit loud. So who has won? Democracy has won the day. We can just turn this off now. Probably the most effort I've ever put into a single Kaiserreich video is just getting that fucking wheel to work. Honestly, it was a nightmare. I don't know why it's so difficult. So, you're going to be returning to democracy. The people have chosen. And by the people, I mean mostly the wheel. The wheel did most of the heavy lifting there. And everything... Yeah, okay. All the screen regions are still fine. So, in 40 days, we will be returning to a democratic nation. Which means, for our back in business, we will be actually locked out of rebuilding the Monroe Doctrine. And we're going to have to go with Enter the Fray. I did not turn on my timer. There we go. Because I was doing all the other nonsense in the meantime. So we're going to be doing Enter the Fray. Forces America, I think, just kind of sucks. Because this is for, remaining kind of independent and, isolationist. Which, of course, we do not want to do. But apparently we do have one more division. So, because we're going to be returning to democracy, I don't believe we have any interest in invading Canada. The Mexico, of course. They are part of the International. There's no way in hell we're not going to be getting involved in that conflict. So if I know now that we are not going to be invading Canada, because we're not sticky with MacArthur, we're going to get all of our troops down on the Mexican border, just, ready to go for the invasion when the time comes. Because I think I want to enter the war, I want to say sooner rather than later. We at least want to enter the war when the Second Weltkrieg begins. So we have about a year. A year to try to rebuild this nation before the greatest conflict in human history begins. So just draw up some offensive lines here. Nothing too crazy. I can't imagine Mexico's going to be able to put up much of an actual threat. How many men do you have? 8 to 37. We're at 38. Our army itself is actually not that large. What are we actually building? We're mostly just making... We do have a handful of heavy tank divisions. Let's build up a couple of heavy armors here. Let's see. We need 478 tanks. We have a handful of light tanks. A ton of infantry equipment. We should just be pumping out kind of basic infantry. So we're going to duplicate this. Get rid of you. Now we can have this symbol. That is fine. So we're just going to train up a handful of these troops. They're basically just going to be throwaway units. Just because we have so much infantry equipment right now, that I feel like we can do that. So 155 political power. I don't think we can do anything here, unfortunately. Not quite yet. I do like the breakthroughs. So we're probably going to go with you guys. And how is technology looking? Oh, wait, do you still get the bonus? Even, if you get the bonus, that's actually excellent. I don't know, though. What are we missing? We're missing carrier fighters. Don't even worry about that. So we should be looking pretty good. Cuba is definitely not going to be joining up with the International. Hawaii is still in the International, so we got to be wary of them. And of course, we also want to get the Panama Canal back from the Canadians, but I don't think there's anything I can do to demand it back. At least not right now. Maybe one day. Maybe one day. But today is not that day. So otherwise, in the world, the Ottoman Empire is going to be definitely winning against the Cairo Pact. No question about that. Don't really know exactly what Russia's plan is. Because Russia is going to be probably invading the Germans once the Weltkrieg begins. What actually are the factions? I kind of have forgotten. Reichsback, yeah, Norway's dead. The Reichsback's looking pretty good. All depends on what the Russian alliance is going to do. I don't know, do they take expansionist realpolitik? I do not exactly remember. We do need some chromium. Get that from the Ottomans. Union of South Africa. It's been nice trading with you, but don't believe you're really what we're looking for anymore. So ciphers. I guess first things first, we just kind of decipher against Mexico. I really don't think there's anybody else we'd want to do a cipher with. So my question also, what I've been thinking, like, do we join up with the Entente, or do we just kind of do things somewhat independently? I mean, joining up with the Entente, I don't believe hurts us in any way. Yeah, you guys are part of the Internationale down there. Is anybody else in the Entente? No, Panama, Costa Rica, these guys over here. But nothing else really as far as I can tell. We got the Dominion of India. But I don't think they're going to be affecting things too much. What about in Europe? We could put troops in North Africa, which we probably should do, just to prepare an invasion of France when the time comes. We're going to get victory in the Civil War. We're going to return to democracy. People have been saying that you can just vote in MacArthur in the 1939 or 1940 election. So if that's the case, we will definitely vote him in. I'm trying to think here. Defend democracy. So we want to... Yes, you're the one who's going to be fighting terrorists, which is going to be definitely a problem for us. So we want to do this. But I also want to do this. We need to get a way down to... I think this enter the fray gets us the ability to join the faction. So that's about 2.5 months. So we'll do this around May of next year. Should be just in time for the war to begin. Victory in the Civil War. 1 day left. Now we'll wait for the pop-up. MacArthur has given up power. And now... Well, I mean, we probably want to go straight to destroy radicalism. Because we want to get rid of the penalties for the terrorists as fast as possible. Like, what are the modifiers? Like, bad. They're not good. Yes, we're going to choose up a new president. So we either go for the Republicans, the moderate Democrats, or the conservative Democrats. I'm pretty sure Douglas MacArthur would probably choose the conservatives. I don't know much about his politics, but I do know that he wanted to nuke North Korea at some point, so I'm going to put him in charge. But I believe that MacArthur runs on the Democratic ticket. I'm trying to remember what people were saying. So if he's going to run on a Democratic ticket, it makes sense for the old order has prevailed. It's 1938. Do we have a research that I haven't done? We have a 1941. But I don't want to spend my research bonus on that one quite yet. You know what? Construction 3. Seems good. So actually, where is the old order? I don't know where that is. We could start doing this other stuff down here. No, I actually have no idea where the where that focus actually is. Oh no, it's this one up here. But again, we can't really do any of these other things. We should be good. We are making old rifles. So does it have the bonus? It does. Beautiful. We'll get that. We'll get those going right away. Like, we're good on oil. Our navy, yeah, still down here. Is 41 ships? All of them? Yeah, 43. We kind of have a weaker navy than normal, which is a real shame. We can't go here yet. We need to join the Entente before we can actually send troops here. I believe with the 40 divisions roughly that we have on the Mexican border right now, that should be enough for a proper invasion of Mexico. Of course, we want to probably send a handful of troops to go deal with Hawaii when the time comes. And then, probably use the might of the United States to... Yeah, this is the problem. The terrorists are kind of a disaster. The Great New England Hurricane of 1938. A lot of destruction. It's a real shame, but what can you do about that? We're actually not building anything. We're actually only repairing, which is not really what I'm looking for right now. So we have lost about half of our factories, compared to where we were at the very beginning of the game. Okay, so where? So we got 80% here, which is pretty good. 80% here. And 60, 60. 80% down in Los Angeles. So we'll build up some military factories for now. The automatic repairs can just kind of do whatever. So now... Wait, no, you're still way ahead of time. Medium tanks? Let's get those researching now. I think that's completely okay. Got a lot of planes in reserve, but we don't need to worry about that, I think. Restore some legitimacy. Which is going to give us 5% more party support, 10% stability. I mean, our stability is still at 3%, which is pretty bad. Yeah, so we fight the terrorist. Trying to think what else I mean, of course, we eventually want to get down to a more perfect union. And the Civil War modifier. How bad is it? Basically, no recruitable population factor, 50% stability, 60% war support loss. I mean, not great. We're actually losing manpower right now. But honestly, I'm gonna go down to... How do we have 5.7% right now? Oh, because we did have a ton because we were at probably extensive conscription or something like that at some point. So send these troops down to the south. And these guys who are going to be deploying in Virginia probably will be our... Let's go up to like a nice 24 stack. And just have these guys not necessarily be the ones to invade France. Because we probably want some medium tanks in there as well. Or some heavy tanks. I mean, the Entente does have significant reach. They actually are at war with the, in India right now. Not that I think I can do too much. Like, I could send them some support. I mean, they actually have a pretty large army. Do you have any planes? You don't. I could send planes to India. I can send almost 1,000 planes. You know what? Let's send air volunteers to India. Okay, so now that I have done that, can I actually just deploy the plane straight into India? I cannot create an air division there. Okay, fair enough. So you are fighters, you are tactical bombers. Yeah, so let's send all of these planes. If they have nobody there, send everybody to this airbase. Is there any other bases around here? Not really. We get these guys to merge. Once they actually arrive in Delhi. Okay, good work on Amelia Earhart for circumnavigating the globe. Yeah, just like a nice 24 stack. Basic infantry, while we have all this extra equipment. Like, I could send it to these guys. Wouldn't hurt. How do you not have air superiority? Don't they? I thought they had no planes. I guess the Internationale is actually aiding them. That's fair enough, I guess. Okay, St. Nicholas bombing. It would be nice if they just stopped trying to do that. Okay, and of course what we're going to do immediately is just try to destroy radicalism. We could just declare war on the Internationale right now. I don't think that actually helps us, though. Okay, so they got... looks like mostly bombers. When my planes get there... But I assume they already have. Okay, we have some close air support, so we'll send them here. Just make sure this area is okay. I don't know where the... okay, okay, the rest of my planes are slowly showing up. But once our bombers arrive, we should have superiority in southern India. So if we can get them to win this war, unite all of India before the Second Weltkrieg, does give us a nice leg up. Yeah, so send our planes down here. They should now be getting air superiority. Hopefully soon. And we are losing some planes. The thing is, like, is there like another airport down here? I can't really see. Yeah, so we got 20 of our basic infantry. You are going to be assigned to this dude. Hang on in Washington for now. We'll send you somewhere else in the future. Another syndicalist bombing. If you could just, like, please stop that. We have 600. Like, unfortunately, like, I can't send my fighters in. There's just no airport close enough. Like, there's one here in Bombay. Like, if they could take this province from Party Commune, I could send my fighters down there. That might be able to give us a little bit more of an advantage. My problem right now, though, is like if the Entente is so bogged down in India to actually help out much in the actual World War, isn't really where we're wanting to be. Modify our governments. We could go up to a limited, but I believe, you know what? We're actually getting medium tanks, right? You're light tanks. That's all. You only have light tanks, really? We'll get that guy for a little bit more resource gain. And you'll be done in less than 2 weeks, which is nice. I don't remember how much political power it is. I believe it's 50. And then there's like 4 levels of each group. Like there's a lot of events that you gotta get your way through. Because those pop-ups are never going to stop until, like, this is like everything is cored, right? No, you're actually colony states right now. Yeah, because technically I'm not occupying any non-core territory. Where is resistance? A little bit of resistance in Oklahoma. Actually, even though they're colony states, there's no other claims to them, so I assume that's why there's nothing rising up. Okay, so 2 more days. After this, I mean, where do we need to go to start repairing government? Ensure political stability. We need that to get either of these ones done. Fate of the Electoral College, Tech Democracy, Research Slot. 10% recruitable population. But that's the effective change, right. Well, let's ensure political stability right now. That seems like a good idea. Okay, it's 25. For 100 days? So it takes, I think, like probably like 3 years. Maybe. To actually completely do the objectives, which is actually surprising. Like, that's a lot. But we now complete air superiority over southern India, which is lovely. I'm assuming the Internationale put all their planes in this region. No, actually, they've just kind of abandoned everything. That works out for me as well. As long as they have no interest in fighting us, we're good. We do have a research slot available now. Still is 1938. Half-track, APCs. I'm going to get paratroopers. Playing through the Millennium Dawn campaign, if you haven't been watching that, you should. I'm not too sure what episode is actually going to be out tomorrow, but I have learned paratroopers are actually very good, and I should have been using them this entire time. So trading up a handful of air divisions. You're missing some production, but that is fine. I mean, I'll build them up here. Paraguay falls to syndicalism again. So you might join the International. I'm not too sure. Okay, so who's fighting who? It looks like the French, or not the French, the Entente are trying to push their way through India. If they can't do this with my, well, trying to give them some air superiority, then they might have some problems. You know what? Keep going down superior firepower. Right now, I feel like there's not a lot of technologies that I actually want. Just something as simple as a doctrine works out well for me. Yes, when these guys are done, assign yourself here. Please, I beg of you. You know, sometimes this can be difficult. What if I just click the portrait? There we go. That works out as well. Political stability. About halfway done. 5% stability, 10% war support. I mean, the resistance actually is not that bad. The Red Scare. Since the election of John Nance Graner, the government of the United States has begun a campaign against socialists of all stripes. Okay, that's fine. Political power goes up a little bit. Up to 53. But again, we still have such a long time until we can actually deal completely with the terrorist. But I think for right now, this is going to be a good time for us to end this episode. So thanks everybody for watching. My name is Ansem. If you enjoyed, give it a thumbs up. And not enjoy, you can always thumb down. If you want to see more, subscribe. And goodbye.